Imagine a bright hair shaved off on a special day. She cried words, deep and true, and the wedding became the story the old town would tell. Long time ago, there lived a woman named Tina. Tina was known in the village for her patient heart. For months, the village has been breathing under one rhythm because Tina was to be married. You could feel it in the way the neighbors move. A quieter step past her gates, a tray left at her doorstep, a whisper planning meeting beneath the mango tree. Wedding are those kind of things that rearrange streets, and that one had the old quarters leaning forward. Dinner preparation began at dawn. There were lists, long pages of small things. Her sister Shadi held the list like a map. The head count, the gifts, the song, the elders to invite. They wrote names on paper and they folded them to be safe. Tina spent the night before the wedding with her mother sitting across her knee. She sat with Shadi and together they talked small memories. Morning came with sound of metal pots and prayers. Lamps were lit. The courtyard was swept until it seems like it may reflect the sky. Neighbors came with trays of kola nuts. They had tasted of sugar and warm bread. Mama Folake, who had braided for many brides in the village, sat with Tina and worked the braid as if she stitched days together. Fingers quick and movement steady. Tina's face was a map of gentle courage. She moved through each task with a focus that made Shade, her sister, smile. She was not showy. She was the kind of bride a town trusted. Serious, kind, measured. When she looked into the mirror, she did not see a woman who sought applause. She saw the lines her mother had worn when she smiled in her time. And she wanted to carry that steadiness into her new life. At noon, the women of the compound gathered for ritual that would begin the day's passage. That was the handing of kola nuts, the prayers for safety, the reading of the list. Old songs were sung because song keep time. Guests arrived. Men in neat shifts came with woven boxes. The space outside the house filled slowly. Jerry was Tina's husband. When Jerry family arrived, they came with lines of elders at the lead. Men and women who had the dark patience of people who keep records in their memory rather than on paper. Kemi, Jerry's mother, moved with a kind of grace that had been practiced for years. Her hands were decorated with a faint henna, and she wore the slight smile of someone who had measured her word all her life. She grabbed Tina by the hand and said warning things. There was a softness there that did not erase the line of her shoulder. Someone who understood how to keep accounts. No one told Tina what was kept in those accounts. No one told her of the small private thing. A tradition, an old house practice, kept folded in the room of Jerry's family like a ledger wrapped in quotes. Inside that tradition was a ritual practiced, they called by an old name, a binding. It was not a ritual that magazine prints or song honored at the market. It was a house custom, kept like a coin in a pocket for a special moment. It was not spoken in the market. It was an accounting of belonging, and in the quiet room of the whole family, it's being used for reason of power and keeping more than for blessing. At the chapel, the pastor spoke of vows, of covenants, of two becoming a new company. People listened as if the floor was made of tin glass, and each promises might shatter it. Tina and Jerry stood at the front. Shade held the small bouquet. The hymn rose, and the room simplified into song, into breath, into the beat of one shared hour. Then a breath, a subtle pause. The elder from Jerry's side asked for a moment. His voice carried the patient weight of someone used to instruction. He stood and said, without hurrying, the old words. In our house, he said, we honor the way of our ancestors. After vows are declared, the bride's hair are respectfully cut and laid at our family's altar. This is how we bind her, how we welcome her into our life. A hush landed like a lid. The statement had the flatness of a law read out loud for the first time. For a bit, the hair kept itself like a held note. Tina blinked, and she was shocked while standing. Tina was dragged to the back of the hut. Her hand felt suddenly lighter while they cut off her hair. She looked at Shadi, then at Jerry. Jerry claimed he did not know about this. He said quietly, "I did not know." She believed him at first soft seconds because his voice sounded like truth. After that, Tina was forced to dance with her fresh haircuts. Her scalp caught the light like a new leaf. Her feet remembered the rhythm. Her hand lifted and folded away bright hand must. She turned once, twice, and with every step she took, there was a sort of tears caught on her cheek. When the dance ended, they pressed her with soft word and hard warning. Ejiro, a sister-in-law who kept the house account like a ledger, bent down and said, in a voice that sounded like an order wrapped in kindness, "Listen, little one, you must not plait your hair. You must not keep your hair full, not until you're 40 years. This is our way." Tina's mouth opened and closed. Tina was only 24. That was the number that lived in her skin. 24 is the age of beginning, not of being put on hold until a countable age. They told her it was for order. They told her it was for blessing. Some words hide the hint that takes. That night, the home felt like a veranda after rain. People unbottled their smile. The elder spoke balance and name. Jerry sat with his head bowed. He said comforting things with hand that trembles only slightly. Tina listened to what he said. 2 weeks later, after the wedding, Tina's friend came by the compound. They sat on the bench by the house. Tina excused herself to fetch water. A small errand she thought would pass her near the corner, and no one would notice. She moved like someone who wanted to pretend the word was only choice. She did not plan to hear anything, but it was half year and step half spice. At the corner of the hut, she pressed her shoulder to the mud and listened. "Did you see her?" one said, and the other laughed as if it was a joke. She went bowed on her wedding day, and they said she must stay bowed until she's 40 years. How will a man keep loving a woman like that? Imagine my sister. She will be old before she's pretty again. They both laughed and said. The laughter was small. The cruelty was thin as paper. Tina felt the word as if there were stones falling in a pond inside her chest. Her breath went small. She did not run. She stood like someone struck by a name she loved and found it used without care. She ran into the bush and sat under a mango tree with her hand folded. Her tears were quiet then, the kind that make people hollow but steady. It is one thing to be wounded by a stranger. It is another thing to be wounded by your friend. Tina's heart simmered into a need that would not stay small. She wanted to speak the truth and ask for the life she had been promised. And so, with the quiet courage that had lived in her bone from childhood, she chose to speak. Tina called Jerry into the living room. He came with the same calm face that has once been comfort. Now, it looked like a map with a tear. "Jerry," she said, "I want my life back. I want my hair back. I'm not happy like I used to. This is not the beginning I asked for." Jerry, shoulder tightening. For a while he tried to fold the moment into gentleness. He said soft word meant say when they hope word can nest. But then his voice came harder. He raised it. He told her there was no going back. "This is how things are," he said. "It is our tradition. You must keep to it." Tina's heart went something like a small drum hits the wrong beat. She shook her head. She waited for him to add things that she could not bear, the real things under the soft word. And then he said it. "I knew," he admitted in a voice that was low and clumsy. "I knew about the ritual. I did not tell you because I feared you would not marry me. I thought love would mend what secret might break." Tina felt as if the room had been empty of sound. Trust is a bowl, and when it cracks into pieces, it does not hold water the same way. Her eyes filled. This was not a simple anger now. It was a grief for the way a man she trusted had measured her worth and chosen the ledger of his house over her heart. She took a long breath and then, steadier than she had any right to be, she asked him the one question that would decide everything. You must choose, she said, your tradition or me, not both. Jerry looked like a man counting coins. His weight had the soft shape of lineage and the living shape at his feet. He shuffled his feet. He swallowed and he chose. I choose my house, he said. I choose my family. The words were not loud, but they were final. Tina did not argue. Her face did not give him a battle. She felt a quiet, and the way a single decision can be a closing of a door. She packed only what she can carry easily. She packed her bag and folded her clothes. Tina left the house. The neighbors looked, some with pity, some with judgment, but Tina did not walk with her head down. She walked as someone who had taken a decision to save the remaining of herself. Tina went back to her mother's house. Her mother met her at the gate. Her sister Shadi stood beside her. And the hair, it grew back. Tina started plaiting her hair back. From time to time, Jerry would pass by the markets and look at the bench. He would stay a little while and watch women braid their hair. There was regret in him, a regret that would not always be a story of return. Some door closed and remained closed because the step was too heavy to take back. He saw the life he might have had if he had chosen differently. Tina did not seek reconciliation for the sake of his guilt. She had learnt the value of her own keeping. She chose instead to build a place of her listening and repair. And so, the story rests. A woman who was made bowed on her wedding day, who danced and cried and was told to wait until she's 40 years, who heard her friends make jest of her and chose not to be small. She left the house that would not choose her. She returned to the love that held her name. She planted the seed and watched it grow, and she braided back her hair. This is the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the story and do not forget to comment your thoughts. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in my next one. Bye.